Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading. You have this Call of the Muse card and this Roots of Abundance card. So the Call of the Muse card, it's kind of like having a muse, having something that inspires you to action or inspires you to take action. So, I kind of feel that like inspiration, like normally we think of a muse as kind of like a lover, like a lover or someone you love inspiring you to create, a great work in your life. But I kind of feel this could just be like an inspiration in general that you're receiving. I feel the universe wants you to be more abundant. I don't know, I feel annoyed by the Roots of Abundance card. I don't know if you're feeling annoyed by that card or if you're feeling annoyed about your like levels of abundance. But I do get like some sort of, energy of being annoyed with your levels of abundance at this time, like, kind of wanting to create more or hoping. It's almost like I get this feeling from the reading just looking at all these cards, of hoping that something will work out for you or something will work better. So again you have, but it's still a good card. It still says that you have the Roots of Abundance. You have the Seven of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. Seven of Wands is my card of conviction. It says when you know that something is going to be successful, then that's when it will truly be successful. Something that I've seen a lot recently is we go down to the Five of Wands here. And the Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. The Seven of Wands is kind of like trying to defend yourself from conflict or competition or trying to defend your position at the top of a hill. I almost get this feeling that this reading is saying like, it's like maybe you're spending so much time, trying to defend yourself from competition or trying to prevent competition from, taking over your business or from preventing you from standing out or whatever, that you're not spending enough time doing what makes you successful. And I'm not like calling you out here, Leo, but it's definitely something that I would think about. It's like, would it be more worth your time to do the things that actually, lead to success instead of, focusing too much on others? And that's kind of the question that's popping into my head with that card. You have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing. I do feel Leo needs to like either do things or find things that cause you to overflow. This could be hobbies, interests, just activities that you do. It could be self-care, any of those things. I feel that this is more personal because it's not really a love reading. There's a little bit of love here, but most readings there is. But, it's kind of like more, I feel this is more about you. I feel it's saying, can you do more of the things that cause more flow in your life or bring that nicer energy into your life? Ace of Cups is those things, those activities that you can do endlessly. That cup can easily reach down into the water below it and overflow. So, I feel that's what you need to focus on. You have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction or hold, kind of like holding yourself back. Literally since day one of my channel, if you go back to my oldest videos, and it might not be the oldest one, but it's like the second one, I used to read playing cards and used to get the Eight of Spades with me all the time. Now, I did not read playing cards like tarot, although you can do that. The spades can be swords cards. And, you used to get the card with me all the time, and then when I switched to doing tarot, you get the Eight of Swords with me all the time. So I definitely feel that, looking for other ways of doing things, looking for other solutions to your problems or not even problems, right? It's like things can be going well, and you can always improve things that are going well. So looking for other solutions is what I would do here. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Lovers. So it could be love. Anytime I say it's not a love reading, then all the cards end up being love cards, right? So the Lovers can represent love. The Seven of Wands would represent needing to open up to it. Again, not telling you what to do. If you don't want love, obviously then don't. But if you do, the Seven of Wands says you have to be more open. The Page of Pentacles would be a new person. We do have the Four of Wands here, which is marriage. But we go down to the Five of Wands. Like, I'm wondering if you are interested in a person where you are fearing that there's too much competition, and maybe there is. But, if this person's for you, they're for you, so I wouldn't worry so much about like the competition. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. I know what this is. We have two sevens. Two sevens is internal fears that don't exist. The Ace of Cups with the Seven of Cups is worrying that if you put your energy into something, it's not going to work out. And I'm not even talking about love. That could be part of it. But I feel this is multiple things in your life where you're thinking, before it's almost like before you get started or you think about getting started on something and then you're thinking, but what if this is a waste of time or what if this is that or that the other thing, right? And I feel there's too much fear here. And I feel what happens when we do that is that we just worry instead of getting things done. And so I kind of feel this is encouraging you to start. And so what if something doesn't work? And when the faster you learn about something that doesn't work, the faster you can move on to something that does, instead of just being stuck in daydream mode with the Seven of Cups. So, this reading is definitely encouraging action. It's like I feel you have a lot of good ideas. I feel you have a lot of good potential as well. You always get these cards of potential with me. That's kind of like popping into my head. You don't have any in this reading yet, but that could change. And you always get like the High Priestess, the Ace of Pentacles, and again, if one of those shows up, then I would definitely say this message is true that you need to, it's almost like you need to try things, right? That's it, just that simple. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. Ten of Pentacles forms the tree of life. Now we have, we work on this forever. This is not something we just get overnight, the Ten of Pentacles. Because it's building, leaving a legacy, which we do forever. So a lot of you, it's like you have a lot of potential, like I said, but I feel that you need to put in the work. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Temple of the Soul card. It says you're on a karmic path so you can unravel the mystery of your karmic debts. You have this Wealth of Knowledge card. It says connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. And you have the World card showing up here. And you always get these cards of being a teacher with me as well, which is pretty interesting. So I feel a lot of you, it's like you might not literally be teaching people anything, but you could be kind of teaching people through being an inspiration or just living your life. And I feel that it's time for you to do that. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. I feel like you need to ask yourself if you want things to be the same. Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the past, and he needs to release what he's holding on to so he can have something better. And I feel that I definitely have said that to you before, Leo. And the other interesting thing is we go to the World, to the Judgment card. The World is like completion. The Judgment card, these people are being reborn into a new world, but they are standing in these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life, and they need to step into a new life. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles could be a new person, for those of you that want love. This could definitely be a new person coming in for you. This could be like new communication. I just feel also, the Page of Pentacles, is a card of education. He is the card of studiousness, right? So, I feel you have a lot of knowledge, but now it's time to put that knowledge to use and put it out into the world. He is holding this pentacle up to the world. So there's something you're thinking about or you're dreaming about with that Seven of Cups, and I feel it's time to ground it in reality with the World card so that you can get the knowledge and the wisdom from it, whatever it is. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion. Three of Wands says, what are you waiting for? And so again, whatever you're waiting for, I feel you need to get on these boats and kind of go on an adventure. I always say the Three of Wands is a little bit scary because these boats, he represents kind of going on an adventure into the unknown. So he has no clue what the outcome will be if he gets on those boats, but, he needs to do it anyway no matter how he feels. So I would get moving. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles. There you go. Ace of Pentacles is the card of potential. The Ace of Pentacles means nothing. The Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity, but, there's a garden right here. And I always say we have to water, feed, fertilize, give that garden sunlight. We have to nurture something into existence. And so we have to plant this seed and, take care of it and make it happen. So there's clearly a lot of potential, like I said. You're thinking about an opportunity that has a lot of potential, but, until you plant that seed, then nothing is going to happen. And there you go. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. A lot of aces this week, I will say, between all the signs. So, multiple signs, I'm stuttering now, right? Multiple signs have had multiple aces. So the Ace of Wands is growth. The Ace of Wands represents the root going down into the soil. And the Ace of Wands is kind of out with the old, in with the new. Your whole entire reading is saying, it's time to let go of the old and step into this new opportunity or a new life of great potential. But with the Ace of Wands, we also have to nurture it into existence. This card is kind of like a spark. It's a spark of hope, a spark of inspiration, and we have to keep putting into it. So if you are stepping into something new, new job, new career, new relationship, nurture it so that it grows into a roaring Leo fire. And that's what I would do there. With the Three of Wands, you have the Ten of Wands. I feel like you have to let go of burdens, past burdens here with this energy. The other thing I would say is I would be careful of being busy, and I am not saying this is a bad thing, but, sometimes I think we say to ourselves oh, I'll start this project after I do the dishes, or, I'll start this project after this happens. And I feel like this is saying no, just start now, right? There's no reason to wait. The dishes can wait, believe it or not. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Flow card and this Diligence card. Yes, diligence is definitely a key word for you, Leo. I feel like working diligently towards what you want is going to be important. I also feel paying attention to flow is going to be important for you, paying attention to what's working, what's not working, and getting into the flow with the Ace of Cups obviously is going to be important. You have the Strength card, the World, and the Five of Wands. The Strength card is obviously you, so whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength in the reading. This Strength card says you've done a lot to develop your inner strength. She is taming this lion here on this card, and the lion is submitting to her. And so she's done a lot of work. This lion represents her inner voice or her inner critic, and I feel a lot of you have, done a lot of work on yourself, or you've done a lot of work on your inner voice, your inner critic, to be able to take control of it. And yeah, I think that's a good thing. You have the World card. The World is an accomplishment or an achievement or completion. I feel you have completed a cycle. You also show up on the World, all the fixed signs show up on the World, and here you are right here. So again, putting you in a strong position. But I feel like the World is saying you are ready to create a new world for yourself, or you are ready to step into a new world. She's going through a portal here in the middle of the card, and in the major arcana we just go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as the Fool. So you are ready for a new beginning. You have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is conflict and competition. I feel like I've said to you before that if you are listening too much to, the people in your life, I'm not saying that, the people in your life are bad or that they're necessarily doing something bad, but, people could be telling you not to do things. Or, sometimes I think people tell us not to do things without telling us not to do things. Maybe you tell them a business idea and they're like, oh, I don't know, that sounds risky. Right? They're basically saying don't do it without saying it. And that's what I would be careful of with the Five of Wands. It's like the people that are saying don't do this, don't do that. Maybe they're not exactly saying it, but they're kind of saying it. I feel like they are wrong. And even if they have your best interest at heart and, again, I don't think people necessarily do this to be bad in our life, but, whatever you're feeling drawn to, I would do because I feel like the universe is drawing you to it with the Strength card. You can't make this up. With the Strength card, you have the Fool, definitely a new beginning for sure. Here's the other thing as well with the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can represent inner conflict as well. And the Fool is about looking foolish, taking a leap of faith where there is a risk that you could look like a fool if you take the risk. And so I feel like some of you are, maybe concerned that if you put yourself out there, or, if you start that business, or if you try to be on top of the world with the World card, that you are going to look foolish. But, as I always say, anyone who has done anything great in the world has looked like a fool at some time. So it's like you're going to have to do it. You might as well rip the Band-Aid off. With the World card, you have the Knight of Swords. Jia, no rusing. You always get the Knight of Swords with me, like recently over the past period or so. Knight of Swords kind of says no jumping to conclusions. It kind of says take your time, go through the process of building whatever you're building, and don't just assume that this, that, or the other thing is going to be the outcome. Really become a detective, find out what the real answer is. And that's what I would do there. With the Five of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Again, I feel this is fear, you're fearing being left out in the cold, even though the Five of Wands really is a card of regrets. You're fearing that you will have regrets if you do something. I feel that you are putting too much pressure on yourself with that Seven of Cups right there. So I really feel that the Seven of Cups is saying you need to get out of your head. It's I don't know, I wish I had a better way to describe the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Cups. It's like there's one cup that's really would be very good for you, but the Seven of Cups can be thinking like, oh, if I pick this cup, bad things will happen, or, he's kind of like dreaming of both things on this card. There are good things and bad things in these cups, but he doesn't know unless he brings that cup into reality. He has to find out, and I feel a lot of your readings basically say that. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this influencer card. It says you have just the right combination of qualities to connect with an audience, inspire change, and create a positive impact. You have this walk away card. It says what you're doing now isn't working for you. But are you willing to walk away to make room for something better? You cannot make this up. The whole entire reading says you are walking away from something to make room for something better, so there you go. And I feel it will be very good, Leo. You have the Four of Wands, Four of Swords, and the Judgment card. Four of Wands can be marriage, of course. There is a little bit of love here, so if you want it, it could lead to marriage. The Four of Wands is really a card of freedom, and especially for the fixed signs. All four fixed signs constantly get readings of needing to set themselves free. I feel like fixed signs have been stuck for a long time. We have Uranus and Taurus. The main theme of Uranus and Taurus is freedom, and so I would be doing anything that you possibly can. Like anywhere there is friction in your life, anywhere that, things hold you back, can you make a change to make the situation better? Can you take control? And, the Four of Wands I feel really wants you to do that. You have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords, of course, is resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. I feel, it's a great time to heal, especially after the full moon we just had recently. So depending on when you're watching this reading, we might be past it or we might be just after that full moon, but, I think it really is a good one for kind of like healing through things. You have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is about, the call to adventure, call to your purpose, or call to your new life. These people are understanding these coffins. Again, the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life, and they're being called to something so much better. And, they don't necessarily know what's on the other side, but, it's an adventure. It could be exciting, and I feel like you need to embrace the adventure here. With the Four of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. Definitely an ending, Ten of Swords, and the good stuff would represent a blessing in disguise. So he's making this symbol right here with his hand, and it represents a blessing. You could be bringing something to an end, and, it could be leading to a blessing in disguise, so that looks amazing. With the Four of Swords, you have the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor is about you taking the lead. Yes, I understand that the Emperor is Aries, but for this reading, we are going to say that it's you taking the lead or taking control. He's sitting down. He really doesn't have to do much. He's sitting down on his throne. He has his armor on underneath his cloak, and what it represents is the fact that when an opportunity presents itself, he's going to take it. But in the meantime, he's just sitting down, chilling, relaxing, not putting too much pressure on himself. But when an opportunity presents itself, he is going to take it. So I feel you need to be ready for that Ace of Pentacles. With the Judgment card, you have the Strength card. I just feel that this is basically saying that this is you. I feel that this is reinforcing the fact that, you are the one that is kind of going through this change, or you are the one that is kind of like answering the call to your true purpose, right? You have this monthly card. I always clarify these monthly cards you have, and you have this Eye card. It says psychic ability, trust your intuition. I find that Leo is very intuitive, and I also find that Leos don't trust their intuition. I live with my brother, he's a Leo. And, the thing that happens with us all the time is he will say something to me that I was thinking, all the time. And we are brothers, but, it's still pretty weird. I'll be thinking about something very random, and he'll bring it up later in the day or something like that. So, and I have found that Leos, really don't trust their intuition sometimes. So I would trust your intuition. You have this Broom card. It says new home, new attitude. This card doesn't say you have to move, although there is a little bit of moving energy in this reading. So if you're moving, this could say good things. But you can just change your environment and can totally change the energy for you. So, anything you can do to upgrade or enhance your environment I feel would be good. You have this Caterpillar. It says things will not always be this way. A change is coming. Yes, a big change. World, Ten of Swords, Judgment. You have all this good stuff here, so definitely big changes. You have this Hills card. It says obstacles to overcome. Yes, but they're hills, they're not mountains. I always say with this card, it's like, yeah, life is all about overcoming obstacles. Yes, it's annoying, but, there's really nothing we can do about it except climb the hills. They're just hills, right? You'll have stronger legs and, a fatter ass at the end of the journey, so, totally worth it, right? You have this Rambo card. It says the most difficult part of a situation is over. There you go. Didn't we say that already? I thought you had another card that basically said exactly the same thing. Now I can't find it, but whatever. Anyway, the most difficult part of a situation is over. Better things are coming. This looks amazing, Leo. Actually, I like this a lot. I feel you have to work on your beliefs, like believing in yourself, but it looks good. So thank you for being here. And, definitely enjoy your week.